Right, we're on then. So this is like the third with an F then. In my defence, my cheeks are a bit squashed up with this helmet. And the weather's not looking good, but I've decided we're going out anyway. If we get wet, we get wet. So this is the third video to this one sort of YouTube clip. I went out with Mark for a nice ride. It was going really well actually, apart from the weather rained us off, so I had to stop and put the GoPro away because the media mod's not waterproof, but the GoPro is. Figure that out. Which was a shame because we were in some lovely scenery in that. But we turned up at our local cafe meet on a Wednesday night. I'm just enjoying looking around the bikes. There was some really nice stuff there. There was a really old BSA, which I'll put a picture up. And we were just looking through the stock, if you will, and there was a bit of a congregation of guys around my bike and Mark's, and then they were kneeling down or bending over, pointing at bits, and I thought, oh, might go and have a word with him, might be able to teach me a thing or two. And as it happens, they did. So they were really complimentary about the bike and of Mark's, which is nice of him, asking me if I'd done the work myself. I was tempted to say I've given it a full restoration, but no, SRM did it all. And then this older guy, must be in his 80s, the guy who owns that red BSA I've just shown you, he said, do you mind if I ever go starting it? And I said, well yeah, take you, be my guest, might take you a few goes. It's a hard starter sometimes. But anyway, he started it up and he's blipping the throttle, and he said, I don't want to sound critical, but it's just missing something. He said, I'm not sure whether your timing's a little bit under advanced or retarded, or its fueling isn't quite there, or the mixture. He said it should bark. When you blip the throttle, it should be crisp and it should be barking at you, and it's just not doing that. I'm sure it's nothing to worry about, he said, but it's just a small fix. And as it happens, on the introductory video to this bike, I was saying how it does feel held back, although I'm going from a Fireblade to a 650 45 brake horsepower 1960s bike, so it's probably going to feel a bit held back. But they've confirmed what I was thinking, to be honest. So what they said is try turning your pilot air screw in all the way and then back it off 1.5 turns. So he said start with that. So I did when I got home and started the bike up and blipped the throttle, and it did sound really, whether it was psychological I'm not sure, but it sounded kind of what I was expecting it to sound like. Anyway, went out for a ride on it the day after, and God, what I'd made a mess of it. It just wouldn't go. As soon as I pulled the clutch out to set off, it was bogging down and all sorts. So I'll show you a clip of that. Oh, it's not happy, is it? Right, and through the power of editing, we're now back to where I was in my story. So I had my mate over for a few beers the other night. He's into bikes. So we started up the rocket again, and we sort of re-baselined it. We put the pilot air screw in, warmed the bike up, out 1.5 turns, warmed the bike up, and then made those adjustments. So just 1/8 of a turn one way, no, 1/8 of a turn the other way, revs start to rise, okay, bring the revs down again and repeat. And that's where we are today. So this is a test ride of that little Endeavour, and again on the go it does seem held back, but it's not making that, it seems better. If I just blip the throttle, it's quite responsive, that. Although I am getting the occasional misfire or backfire, something, it pops a little bit now and again, and I don't think I can be arsed playing with it myself, taking the tank off and trying to check the needle position, the notches and the thickness and the jets and all that lot, and the timing. So that's, oh no, when I open it up, just anyway. So I've decided I'm going to take it into a local specialist when I can find one. I do know of one, but I think he's off work, ill at the moment, unfortunately for him and for me. So, oh, clunks into second again. So yeah, we're just pottering. I'm hoping, yeah, it's been doing some 1,500 miles in its current condition, or maybe 1,300. So, just going to ride it until I've got a bit more time and I can find somebody. Just potter about on it, more importantly, rather than really labouring it and stressing it. And then we'll take it in, and hopefully, if I can align it to the running phase, I've got in my head this will be running at 1,800 miles on the clock. I think it was, I don't know what happened, but I don't think it was fully reset when the SRM did it. I've picked up in translation with the seller. So if an extra 300 miles is peace of mind, then no issue with that. I'll just wait a bit longer. And to be honest, if I was to start ragging it a little bit, or what's the word, really enthusiastically using it, it might not be that good if the timing's off or something. And the guys round the bike, they did suggest actually that SRM may have retarded it slightly just while it was being run in, so you weren't overworking it. I haven't rung them to verify, because I wouldn't be surprised if they told me they haven't. But that's what we're going to do. It works, which is a good thing, and I'm enjoying it as well, which is the important thing for me. But yeah, we'll get it in and we'll get it tuned up just as we're about to use it as a fully running engine. And we're nearly there now, what, 270 miles away. That'll come. Got a bit of traffic here. That's the problem with this bike, you can't really flit past them. So I've also worked out what's going on with this pocket watch drama. I really did like the idea of that, and it was something different, and I could help tell time. So it had a few uses. The vibrations of the bike, despite the rubber insulation type thing, are just making this nut, or this screw-head, I think, on the back, it'll just work its way loose, which is allowing the gap to open and allowing my pocket watch to escape. So I think I'm just going to leave it off, because you don't want that bouncing around, it's not good. But you live and learn. It's only cost me 130 quid to try it out. 2 pocket watches and the 30 quid adapter. Look at that. Another thing the guys were telling me, he said, oh, you've left your petrol tap on. I said, oh, I always leave that on. Sometimes I come out in the morning and it's still on. And they were looking at me like, what? Oh shit, come looking at me like a bit of an amateur, and I said it's never leaked, really good. I'm assuming the first time it does, it'll be a bit of a... Need to remember, when you switch that off, you switch that off. Oh, I just forget. Hold your breath. There's a biker meet, it's a Monday night tonight, and there's a biker meet as well, but I don't think I can be arsed. I want to get out on my KTM tonight and just give it a bit of a thrash, because I've only ridden it once in the last few weeks. And just general rambling here, but tradesmen, so frustrating. I've been waiting in all day for a decorator to come. I'm supposed to be having some wallpapering done, and he's let me down. So I just thought, stuff it, I'm going out. If you rock up and I'm not there, you'll have to do something else. Not waiting in all day again. Oh, this Ford Fiesta's doing my nutting. So anyway, before I offend any more people, like the Leeds football supporters and tradesmen, I'll probably be doing a favour to myself to sign off here. So, seems like we've sorted the problem out to a small extent, but as I've said, needs further work. So we'll get that done and hopefully be able to provide a bit of a review and the breakdown of what was changed to improve it, if any of you are having a similar problem. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.